Hello, my dear listeners. How are you all? I hope you are doing your best to serve your duties in your situation with utmost love and honesty. So, let's start a new chapter from the life of Shri Ramakrishna Paramhansa Dev. Sometimes the Babaji, the master, went on, after cooking his food, could not find Ramlala. Being sorely distressed, he would run to my room and find Ramlala playing with me. In wounded pride, the sadhu would say, "The food is ready, and I have been searching for you, and here you are playing at your ease. Well, that is your nature. You do whatever you like. You have no feelings, hard and unkind. You left your parents and went to the forest. Your father died of a broken heart, but you did not return even to see him on his deathbed. Scolding, thus he would take Ramlala away and feed him. The Babaji stayed here for a long time because Ramlala would not go away from me, and the Babaji could not leave behind his dearly beloved Ramlala. One day, Jatadhuri came to me weeping and said, "Ramlala, out of his infinite grace, has fulfilled my desire. He has revealed himself to me in the form I prefer, but he has told me that he will not go and leave you behind. But I am not distressed on that account. I am filled with joy to see him live here happily and play with you. I am satisfied when he is happy. I shall gladly leave him with you and go my way. It gladdens my heart to think that he is happy in your company." With these words, Jatadhari left Ramlala with me and bade adieu to Dakshineshwar. Ever since, Ramlala has been here. This, in brief, is the story of Sri Ramakrishna's Vatsalya form of devotion to Sri Rama. Human love is but a faint reflection of divine love. Our attachments are usually prompted by worldly considerations and depend upon time, place, or circumstances. Divine love is constant, undecaying, and unconditioned. Even death cannot intervene between God and his devotee. God is very near, but our vision is so blurred by a thousand petty desires that he seems far off. Thousands of people may walk over, reach subterranean mine without dreaming of the treasures hidden underfoot. Only an expert gets the clue to their existence and digs them out. Thousands of men and women have seen Ramlala, but to every one of them he is nothing but the little metal image. If they are told of this episode in Sri Ramakrishna's life, they would consider it as a poetical fancy. But an ocean of difference lies between the ordinary mentality and that of Sri Ramakrishna. Which of us can say that he has pinned sincerely for God and had no response? Which of us can satisfy himself that he has searched for God with all his heart and soul, yet has not felt him, speaking to him as did Ramlala to Sri Ramakrishna? The world is full of much talk with no practice, but God exists for all that. If the experiences of a single devotee are true, then in spite of all assertions to the contrary, God is true, sensed by others with the necessary zeal. He always reveals himself to the true devotee in the form most pleasing to the devotee. Yes, we can see God, and that more intensely than we see the world. He is the only shining reality of which all else is but a passing shadow. Seek him in the right spirit, and you shall find him. The trouble is that we are unwilling to go through the necessary discipline. For a material thing, we can patiently wait for years, but in this most momentous of pursuits, we will not wait. Hence, our failure. It was because Sri Ramakrishna applied himself to the task with wonderful sincerity, renunciation, patience, and one pointed zeal that he achieved success in an incredibly short time. There is no record in spiritual history to equal it. If we inquire why, after the completion of his Tantrika sadhana, Sri Ramakrishna was attracted to the Vaishnava ways of worship, of which his experiences with Ramlala formed a part, the reasons were various. The first and foremost was the combination of different qualities in his character. Stern as the most austere of Gyanis, he was at the same time loving as a Bhakta. Though a hard taskmaster and disciplinarian, he was a solicitous for the welfare of his disciples as a mother. These attributes are not contradictory when viewed from the highest standpoint, for they represent different attitudes of the mind towards the truth. Usually, a sadhaka is satisfied with realization of only one aspect of God. But Sri Ramakrishna desired to know him in every aspect. He knew no exhaustion, no satiety. He had scarcely attained the goal of one mode of worship when he took up another. His whole life was spent in seeking God in different ways and realizing Him in diverse aspects. Secondly, it will be remembered that he was born of a Vaishnava family, his father devoted follower of Raghuveer. Born and reared in such environments, Sri Ramakrishna naturally leaned towards Vaishnavism. Lastly, the Brahmani, who was his teacher in the Tantrika sadhana, was, as we know, herself a great Vaishnava devotee. So it was quite natural that Sri Ramakrishna should be attracted towards Vaishnavism. During the first 4 years of his sadhana, we saw him adopting the calm and placid attitude towards the deity or that of a servant to his master. We remember his following in the footsteps of Hanuman and his being blessed with the vision of Sita. Sometimes also he adopted the attitude of a friend towards the divinity in the manner of Sridama, Sudama, and the other companions of Sri Krishna. We hear of his attaining perfection in those different modes of Vaishnava discipline. Now he wished to try the two remaining modes of worship, the relation of parent to child, Vatsalya, and that of a girl to her lover, Madhura. While practicing Vatsalya sadhana, Sri Ramakrishna became possessed with the idea that he was a woman. He was helped in this through his inherent feminine quality. He forgot his masculine nature, and his speech and gestures so resembled a woman's that the woman of Mathur's family, with whom he associated now, accepted him as one of themselves. We find him at this time worshipping the Divine Mother as her handmaiden, fanning her with great care or performing other similar services. His meeting Jatadhari at this juncture lent an added impetus to these tendencies and decided his particular form of worship, filling him with an absorbing love for the child Rama. He felt the same motherly love for the divine child as did the queen Kaushalya for her boy. Before Jatadhari left Dakshineshwar, he initiated Sri Ramakrishna into the Vatsalya form of worship. With characteristic zeal, Sri Ramakrishna plunged headlong into the sadhana, determined to reach the goal in the shortest time possible. In a few days, he was not only blessed with a constant vision of Sri Ramachandra as the divine child, but he also found that he who appeared before him as the son of King Dasaratha also pervaded every being, that he projected the universe and transcended it in his aspect of pure Brahman, the one without a name, form, or attribute. So, through following the prescribed forms of Vatsalya, he reached the same goal which he had hitherto attained by his own unaided efforts. So, my dear listeners, we are completing here for today and we will start a new chapter from the life of our Master Sri Ramakrishna Paramhansa Dev in the next episode. Till then, be happy, be jolly, and keep praying. Shubhamastu.